is, again, we're getting started here. This is Vince with Listings to Leads. And this is our class to talk about the top tools to help you get listings right now. It's 2021. Last year was crazy in terms of inventory, and inventory is still crazy, but meaning it's low. But we still have a lot of tools that are working right now in the market. And so I'm going to show you those tools, right? What I do want to point out, I always like to start off classes with like, what are the resources for you to learn how to use listings to leads? And obviously a training class like this is one of those resources. We do this once or twice a week, every week. But also if you scroll down at the bottom of our website, you're going to find our blog. And Scott's been doing an awesome job putting the latest new things that are going on in our system and kind of what's working on this blog. So you're going to see kind of a couple major themes. We've got this incredible Facebook ad generator. We're going to definitely talk about that today. It's almost one click, like one click to create an ad and get leads with phone numbers. So you'll see a lot of that. And then you'll see these other things about ways to get listings. And obviously that's the focus of this call here. I'm going to give you one of the blogs in here that I always like to give everybody because I don't know. I did ask, I know a bunch of people are logging in right now. If you're new to us, let me know how long you've been here. This is one of our blog posts, and you can search on the blog section for Realtors Stuck. If you just type in the word stuck, you're going to find this. This one blog post is actually really useful because there's just 6 videos on it, but these are the videos that cover pretty much all of our platform, right? How to market a listing, whether it's your listing or a borrowed listing. How to use the Facebook ad generator I just mentioned. Now here it says 3 steps. It's actually faster now because we've upgraded it. And the top tools for seller lead generation is, frankly, it's this class. So that's what it is there. What do you do if you don't have listings? We have a lot of tools for agents who don't have listings. This is a really cool one, this free and cheap lead gen story. There's a lot of ways to use our tools that don't cost any money or just cost a couple bucks. And they're inventive, they're great, they're simple to do. And so I do think if you got like a limited budget, that's worth watching. And then if you're somebody who invests in professional videographers or things like Matterport, watch that 6th video to figure out how to leverage those investments in our platform so that you can actually capture leads. Like Matterport is a great platform, right? Super slick, but it doesn't capture leads, right? So for us, listings to leads, we're all about capturing leads. So I see a bunch of questions here. I have just sent this blog post to all of you. It just popped up. It should have popped up as a little GoToMeeting bubble. And yeah, that's kind of it. So let's look at here. So Rita's been here for 3 years. Awesome. Liza's been here for years now too. So thanks for sticking around. Kevin's been here for a year, but hasn't used it much. I'll tell you a trick. And I know it sounds a little bit, facetious, but the trick to listings to leads is using the tools. If you don't use them, you're just paying us on a monthly basis, and we appreciate that. But if you use your tools, your business is going to grow. And we've got so many clients who are proving that to us all over the country all the time. Yeah, thanks for the donation. Thanks, Bettina. 7 months, Bettina, or 7 years? And Janice has come to us from Community Influencer. Community Influencer, God, we've been working with her for years. And so, welcome, Janice. This call is being recorded. I will not be emailing it out. I'm going to put it in the Mastermind group. And you can just go to the Mastermind group and get it, or you can even email support and ask them for it. So Bettina, thanks for being with us for 7 years. That's awesome. Lisa doesn't see the chat feed, so I'm going to send you a message right here. And it should go, you might see something pop up, Lisa. I actually just sent you that blog post again. I think everybody has it. It's a weird, I don't know what it's called. Questions. Do you see something that says questions? I'm going to send this to everybody. You should have something popping up or blinking orange. And that's the signal that that's where this blog post is. Okay. Okay, so everybody got that, okay. So I will hold on to that blog, that blog post, because honestly, if you look at all that, you are gonna know how to use our system, okay? So since we're talking about resources, that's a good resource, the blog's a good resource. But also the Mastermind group is a good resource. Now, if you're not in here, you need to get in here. You gotta be a client to be in here. And if you go into Facebook and you search, sorry, I'm getting so many things pop up here. If you go search in Facebook and you're not a client, you're not going to see it because it's a private group, right? And so you just won't see it. But if you're in it, then you will see it. It's weird, but that's how Facebook is. It is. So it's really only for our clients. Yeah, Liza, yeah, okay, hold on a second. So use your support team or our support team. Can my VA get access? Yeah, Reginald. Yes, the question, email support and say, I want to have this person, give them their email address and say, this is the person I want to have added to there. So if you got it, you might have an assistant or a VA and that's it. Eric's been with us for 4 years from Coldwell Banker. Haven't had a ton of success with flyers handed out. I know you'll recommend that that we canvass neighborhood. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that, Eric. We're going to talk about all the things. So Eric is mentioning that he's been using our flyer, which is one of our top things. And you haven't had much success with that, Eric. I'm going to kind of tell you a way that I think really is a great way to apply it. And so get in the mastermind group and let's get into the top ways of getting listings, okay? So in case you know this or you don't know this, if you log into your account, a lot of these tools that I'm going to talk about are available if you have listings, and they're available if you don't have listings, right? Now here I see something here. I want to talk about this right away, because this is, if you look at it, says $3 seller leads with phone numbers in 30 seconds. That means it takes 30 seconds to create an ad. And what Scott's showing you here is a pending ad, okay? And I definitely want to talk about this because I talk about it all the time. Scott and I both talk about it. Like one thing to know about, let's just go to the listing section and let's go look at a home that's pending. So you're going to see that pop up and you're like, I should do that. I'm going to get listing leads. And it is something, but I just want to be, I'm going to be really straightforward with you. Because what I'm going to show you, especially in the Facebook ad section, is it's not, what we say is correct, but you really have to put a little bit of thought behind it. And I know that's tricky sometimes. You see this property here that's in contract. Now you can change this to pending, or you can change it to active contingent or whatever fits, or sold. And our listings, when your properties are early stage, like coming soon or just listed or active, our call to actions and our language is to get buyer leads, right? So when the home goes in contract or pending or whatever, or sold, now the call to actions and the ads are designed to get listings, right? Like home value leads. So let's kind of go through that and see. So this one's under contract. I'm going to click market listings. This is a new interface. This is a new look. We're actually streamlining our system. And you'll notice that the first place we drop you on is Facebook ads. And that the reason why I'm bringing you here is that video that we were looking at right when I logged in was saying, hey, if you market something pending, which this home is, it's under contract, so not exactly pending, but it's the same thing. Notice what it says. It says, hey, this home is now in contract. When it's sold, it will affect your home value. And that's what the video is saying, is this will get you $3 leads, right? And so our clients, they'll hear me say this, or they'll hear some Scott say this, and then they'll go do it and they'll go, I didn't get any leads, right? And I just want to kind of let you know that this in theory works, but you got to kind of jazz it up, right? You kind of, this language here is a little bit not stale, but it's not like punching out. This is what your ad's going to look like. It's going to be sponsored by your business page, okay? And if you can imagine the millions of people on Facebook every day who are just scanning around looking at pictures of what their friends ate that weekend and their pets and their kids, and they see that there's something under contract. Well, there's kind of one thing about under contract or pending. It's not for sale and it's not sold, right? So if it's not for sale, it's not relevant at all to a buyer at all. And that's why the language says when this home is sold, it's going to affect your home value. It says it right there. So to get people to kind of start clicking on home value ads, I think you need to talk a little bit about the home, which is going to get people to slow down and think about it, okay? And here's some of the things over here. It says advanced options, and I'm going to turn it on. And the first thing you should do, I think, is tell them how it's under contract, right? One story that I hear from agents all over the country right now is we got, I don't know, 5 offers. In contract in 7 days, right? And, 20K above asking, right? Something like that. Because it just slows you down, because when you're thinking about getting home value leads, listing leads from Facebook, I'm going to show you one of the ways is to write, hey, if you live in Cincinnati, click here and get your Cincinnati home value, right? That's the old kind of way. It's the last thing I would suggest is to run a really generic home value ad like that. But when I type that language down here, it shows up in my ad here. And these things are what get people kind of excited, right? If I'm going to sell a home, you guys are professionals, you're realtors. That's all you do is sell homes. You help people buy homes and sell homes. That's your life. But us as normal, citizens owning a home, selling a home is not an exciting or fun thing to do. It's not something that you necessarily want to do. You might have to or whatever. So you want to make it like why they need to work with you. And if you're getting a bunch of offers and you're selling a home quickly and you're getting good money, that's a real incentive. And that you need to put in your ads. If you just use our generic language, you might find that it doesn't work. So what do you have to do to finish this? That was a long-winded story. What do you have to do to finish this? This home is in St. Paul, so you type in the location, St. Paul, right, and Minnesota. Cool. You could expand the radius if you want. You want people to see this, 30 miles out. Really depends on how far people will drive and how far you will drive. And then you just create the form down here. Click this button here that says create form, and this is the form that pops up. It will pop up in Facebook pre-populated with the name, email, and phone number. This is why our clients are really excited about Facebook ads, is because leads with phone numbers are valuable, right? So we're talking about seller leads with phone numbers. And so that's like an awesome thing to do there, right? And so I just want to explain that, because when you log in, you're going to see that, and then you go do it. You might go, God, I spent some money and I didn't really get any leads. And that's because that generic language is just not powerful enough. And we don't know what's going on with that home, like this 5 offers in 7 days and whatever. We don't know, like we just don't, because that's not in the system. We couldn't pre-populate that for you, otherwise we would. So you need to take just a moment and kind of customize when you're doing that. So let's do a quick one. Let's go back to my listings. And let's just do it quickly, because I've shown you, I've got a property here that's sold, right? So I'm going to click on market listing. It's going to drop me automatically on Facebook ads. And it says, home just sold. Your home's value is going to be affected. Text me if you're using our text service. That's there. That's it. So how do you run an ad? Well, this sold, I'm going to just say Lafayette, right? I'm in Lafayette, California. So I'm going to say Lafayette, 15 miles, create an ad, and what's taking so long? Well, another page should pop up. What? Oh, Jesus, excuse me. I actually created an ad. I hit the wrong button. Let's go back. Sorry, guys. I need to drink more coffee. Let's do this one more time. Let's do this one more time. So market listing, get on Facebook. It drops us right on Facebook. Create ad. Oh, yeah, wow, okay, good. All right, so let me slow down. Let's just stop. Let me have a sip of my coffee and let's stop right here. We are building here at Listings to Leads. You may not know this about us. We've been existing as a company for 11 years, and we've grown in 11 years. Our reputation has grown in 11 years. And the reason why is because we really focus on capturing leads. And that's all we think about. Like if you're going to send an email, you got to capture a lead. If you're going to use video, you got to capture it. Like everything we do is about capturing leads. But, you know, like any company, you kind of grow a little bit one direction and then you go another direction. And then over time, it's like, oh, there's just so many things going on here. What can I do? And why I'm telling you this is that this year, we're finally getting to the point where we're realizing our tools are powerful. They work for a lot of clients. We just need to make sure that they are easy to use, right? Like they are just dead easy. And that's why when you click on Facebook ads, you're dropped right here. But what you're not seeing is, and what just changed is, as I clicked around, is we've actually, what I showed you 5 minutes ago, is that I was showing you, oh, you got to click create form. Well, you know what, guys? Today, you don't need to create the form. All you need to do is type in the location. So I'm sorry, this is really confusing. You type in the location like Lafayette, and I'll just put in Lafayette, Louisiana, and you click create ad. You don't even need to create the form because we're doing it automatically in the background. If you know anything about Facebook, inside Facebook, there are 3 pages of boxes that you got to check and things that you got to click on and this and that. And if you want to create an ad on Facebook, it's going to be tricky. It's not always easy. And that's why a lot of agents can do it successfully and many agents cannot do it successfully. It's not really your fault because frankly, Facebook changes their interface every 3 days anyway. And you're just out, you're out of luck if you cannot stay on top of that. Whereas right here, we're doing everything we can to make this so easy. And now all you got to do is type in the location and click create an ad. Now, I just want to remind you, because this home is sold, you need to add like, hey, it's sold for above asking, it's sold in 7 days, all those things to get people to click on that. And then it gets you a home value lead, okay? So I'm just going in that direction first. Oh yeah, and then, we'll kind of get into the other tools next. So it does. So Bettina asks, does it go into IG, into Instagram? And the answer is yes. If your Facebook account, I'm going to click here on advanced options. If your Facebook account, if your Instagram account is connected to your Facebook account, you can see them right here, right? This ad will go into Instagram as well. Anna's saying she has no audio. Reboot. I think everybody hears me here. I haven't either. I've had success with leads with phone numbers though. Okay, I don't know what that's about, Reginald. Okay, so somebody asked a question here about retargeting. So let me slow down and talk about retargeting. And if you're not a techie person, and I would say the average client of ours is not a techie person, this is going to sound techie. Okay, and I want you to not get nervous. I want you to pay attention because capturing leads is why Listings to Leads is still standing. We can help you capture leads. we're now, not only are we simplifying to make this easier, we're now getting into converting leads, right? We want to help you convert the leads because it's when you convert the leads that you get paid. So one way of converting a lead is touching the lead multiple times, right? That's why you have a CRM and you have a drip campaign, because you're dripping on, right? But when you log into listings to leads, you're going to see something talking about retargeting current leads. And it's going to tell you to turn on, is it retargeting? I think we call it something else. I can't remember what it's called. But what this means is when you turn this on, is we're going to start creating a file in your personal Facebook ad manager. And it's going to be a file with all of your leads. And it'll be called like listings to leads. I'm not sure. I should find out what it's called. You could ask support. But you're going to see that there's a total of all listings to leads. There's listings to leads, buyer leads, and then there's a separate file, listings to leads, seller leads. I think you should send, and what this means when I click it here, if I type in like buyer leads, and if I, in this gray box, I don't have my custom audiences set up. So it would, or otherwise it would pop up when I typed in. So let me kind of give you another example. Let's say you have been buying leads from Zillow for 5 years, and they're sitting somewhere in your CRM or they're in a spreadsheet or whatever. You could download that spreadsheet into your computer. You could upload that spreadsheet into Facebook Ad Manager. And then when you're running this ad and you're saying, I want everybody in Lafayette to see this, you could then say, I also want old Zillow leads. And all those old Zillow leads will see this ad right here, okay? And along with all the other people that live within 15 miles of Lafayette. So that's what retargeting is. It's keep pushing the ads in front of the people who once responded to your ad. Because, you know, basic advertising in all platforms, whether it's print or TV or whatever, tells you like, it's like 8 touches before somebody's actually going to pull the trigger and do a transaction with you. So I know in real estate fantasy land, it's like I get a lead and in 48 hours they're in my office and we're signing a contract. But that's not reality. Reality is you gotta touch these people. And Facebook retargeting is a really smart way of pushing ads onto those same people. I hope you understand that. I definitely hope you turn it on and take advantage of it, okay? Yeah, you like that, huh? Okay. We're gonna talk about the direct mail, so just hang on there. Just hang on there, everybody. Okay, my pixel is disconnected and not working. Can support help me? Yeah, Sally, I think that support can help you with the pixels. I cannot, I don't really know. Will retargeting work with leads I've already received through listings to leads? Reginald has a great question. Some of you on this call have been with us for years, right? And if I go over here, and if you go over here to leads, we've got clients with hundreds or thousands of leads. When you turn on retargeting, we're gonna pop all those leads and drop them into your file. So all your old leads are gonna be there available for retargeting, and any new leads that you capture in the future are gonna get dumped into that same file. So definitely, if you've been with us for a while, this is something that you totally wanna take advantage of. Okay, I hope you understand that. Yeah, that is an awesome fact that I was blown away that we could do that. Okay, so Sally, reach out to support. So we don't have to upload a list. No, you don't have to upload a list of people, Liza. I was just saying, just to understand what retargeting is, it means you have a custom audience. And so you don't, you know, you want to take those leads from any resource that you're getting leads from, and you want to go directly to Facebook and say, I want this to be a custom audience. I want it to be called my real estate leads. Maybe you're buying leads from like all kinds of companies. Keep dumping them in that custom audience in Facebook and then retarget. And so if you think about it, let me show, do you provide support to upload listings for retargeting? I would ask, upload leads for retargeting. Kathy, I would ask support. I don't know if we do have that because that's really the Facebook interface. If we don't have it, YouTube has that, right? I mean, YouTube will have a video How do you create a custom audience? And a custom audience is what you retarget. You're retargeting with. So if you went to Facebook and you got a YouTube, you got your all your old leads and you uploaded them for retargeting, and then you came over here to listings and you turned on retargeting here, and I'm not gonna try not to talk quickly here. I want you to hear what I'm saying. I've got an active listing. Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, throw in your questions. I want to answer these questions because these are really important. So now this property here is just something that's for sale, right? It's just for sale. All I got to do is type in Berkeley, and I want to be crystal clear about this. If I turn on retarget current leads, you might have created a list called my old Zillow leads, and it would be available for you to retarget right here. We're going to create a list, a custom audience. Notice it says custom audience right here. Let me click on this and see what this, okay, yeah, so it doesn't give much information there. But it's the custom audience. It's basically an Excel file of people, right? We're going to create a custom audience for all the leads that are listings to leads. But you're going to see any custom audience that you created in your own Facebook account. You might say, hey, you know what? These are my Zillow leads. You might call it a Zillow leads. You might say, these are my home.com leads or whatever. Whatever, you could do it multiple files, or you could just put them all in one big file. Me, I like to keep things easy. I would create one big file of any leads that I got and put them in there. Unless you went to like something super special like the millionaires, real estate brunch, and you got a bunch of leads there, and you might want to do something with that. But otherwise, just keep it simple, okay? But the point that I'm trying to make is if you got old leads from another world, you will be able to retarget them right here because this is connected to your Facebook business page, okay? So anything going on in there is going to be available for you. So there's some more questions. Let me answer those and we're going to move on. I always get rid of leads. Yeah, why is that? Yeah, you want to retarget your leads. You want to have a drip campaign and all that. I have thousands of Facebook leads in my CRM. Can I upload them all to Facebook? Yes, Kenneth, you should be able to download them out of your CRM and then go into your Facebook ad manager and look for custom audience, how to create a custom audience. Once you've done that, you'll notice that mine is connected to our listings to leads count. When you connect your Facebook ad manager to our system, that's going to be your page, your business page. And then your custom audiences will be in this box that you'll be able to type and search on. How many leads do I need in my CRM data for a custom audience? This is a good question, James. I appreciate you asking this. And we're really getting into the weeds on Facebook, but let's just do it. You can create a custom audience in Facebook with 5 leads. You can't target, like you see here where I could type in this box the name of the what do you call it? They can't target the name of that file because the custom audience has to have 1,000 leads in it, right? Before you can use it. All right, so that is important. You can collect them until they're ready with 1,000. As I mentioned, some of our clients have been with us for years and they have thousands of leads. So Reginald's asking, so the listings to leads has done automatically once you click retargeting, but the ones you upload to Facebook, you have to select them from the dropdown, right? No, wrong. So good question, Reginald. Let's imagine that you went directly to your Facebook account and you typed in, and you made a Zillow, these are my Zillow leads, old Zillow leads, right? So now there's going to be a custom audience called old Zillow leads. There's also going to be a custom audience called L2L leads. So when you come here to retargeting and you click that box, you'll be able to choose both of those. Listings to leads is going to create that kind of box, that kind of custom audience with our leads. So they'll all be available to drop there, right? To use there. Do we have to have a website to retarget or place pixels? No, Bettina, you don't. You don't need either of those. So guys, we went down a rabbit hole of Facebook, but honestly, if you're here, you've got to understand this and you got to apply it. Let's talk about the #1 tool, which actually some of you have talked about, regarding what, the #1 tool for capturing listings. Now, this tool is created, you notice that there are multiple statuses, and I want to kind of really stress this. I mentioned it earlier, our early stage advertising is designed to get buyers, but in our later stage advertising is designed to get sellers, right? But actually, even when you're marketing a listing and it's for sale, we still got tools in there to help you get listings, right? So let me explain that. And I'm gonna put an open house way out in the future, because I'll do this call a few times this month. So this, I'm saving an open house, right? When you save an open house date and time, we're gonna email you a bunch of tools. And those tools are for social media, they're for blogs, you can go on Craigslist. But there's this one tool that people have mentioned here on the call, and it is our #1 tool for getting listings, okay? So when you watch this video that we were talking about earlier, like the top tools for seller lead generation, which is frankly the name of this call, that's what this is about, is how to get seller leads. The #1 tool is on the marketing list. It is called the Nearby Homeowner Letter, #5 on this list now, okay? And somebody was saying, I'm not getting much response from that, right? But let me just download it. There are 2 versions. They have the same language. They just look a little bit different. I'm going to download the old school version, and let's talk about this, okay? So if you have questions about this letter, lay them on me. I want to point it out, this is a 1-page flyer. You download it like I just did, and you print it, and then you get it into your market. You door knock it, or you mail it first class, you mail it bulk mail. That is what you do. This is a very simple tool, right? You can see it, it's not really sexy, but let me point out, I've got an open house this weekend, 1 to 4. Take this physical piece of paper to your own computer and type that in and go find out, right? It also says, but when that home is sold, this is affect your home value. And you can take the same piece of paper to your own computer and type that in. Well, who do you think is going to take a piece of paper like this to their own computer and type that in? That is somebody really interested to find out their home value, okay? And they land on this page right here. And they type it in and you get a lead, you get their address and all that stuff, right? So you don't get like 50 or 100 leads from something like that. You get like 5 or you get a dozen. But these are really high quality leads because they're going into a specific neighborhood where you're already working. So this is really relevant to the people that you sent this to, right? And that's an important. So you see here, this is in Berkeley, California. I'm going to print up 50 or maybe 100 or possibly even 200. And I'm going to mail this to the people in that neighborhood, or I'm going to door knock it, right? Let me explain why this is so valuable, because this, you know exactly where it's going. And those people know that street probably, right? We're driving them to this page. Now, let me kind of jump over to the Facebook ads. No, not, I'm going to go over to our ad section, which is a more robust version. It allows you to run all kinds of ads. And I'm going to create a landing page ad, home values, and I'm going to do it for Berkeley, right? And let's talk about that. So what we're talking about is the #1 way of getting listing leads. Berkeley, California. And perhaps the worst way of getting listing leads. The #1 way is to drive people to this landing page via this piece of paper, right? The way that most realtors think to get listing leads is to drive people to that landing page with a Facebook ad. And it's probably the least recommended way that we would recommend. And I'm going to show you why right now. Well, in this page, you got to create a form, and you click down here and you create a form and you get, phone number and email, all that. And then, so we still need to update this section with a form. So here you have that extra step. You type in the location and you publish, and you can retarget, right? So you can retarget here as well. So, but let me point out this little magic thing here. The radius, you cannot shrink the radius on Facebook, shorter than 15 miles, right? So that in a place like Berkeley, California is a significant deal, right? Let me show you, if I run an ad in Berkeley, and let me just show you on a map, people all the way over here in San Francisco are going to see that ad, people over here in Mill Valley, all these people in Lafayette, Orinda, Oakland, they're going to see my ad on Facebook. And if they're curious about that, like, that's interesting. It says whatever, it should say something like Berkeley. I would type in the word Berkeley. It's going to just overshoot all over the place, right? And if they land on it and it says Berkeley, and let me go do this one more time, just so you can really know what I am getting on about here. Because that was a generic home value ad, and generic does not work with capturing listing leads, right? So I'm going to do Pleasant Hill. I've got, this is just the way I've got it built. It's here. So this is Pleasant Hill. It's at a town adjacent. Same thing. Create the form, type in the location, and instead of Berkeley, let's go look at Pleasant Hill real quick, and I'll just make it really clear. So you can't. Lord have mercy. Excuse me. Yeah. So Pleasant Hill is this little town right here. 15 miles is this big radius here. People in Berkeley are going to see it. But when I'm creating an ad for Pleasant Hill, you notice it says July home sales in Pleasant Hill are in, and your home value has changed, right? It's all about Pleasant Hill. If I click on this, it says Pleasant Hill. But all these people that are in adjacent towns are going to see that, right? And if they click on it, they chew up my money. There's $50 on this ad. Every click can cost you somewhere from $4 to $5, even $7 a click. So you can imagine if it's $5 a click and 10 people click it, but they live outside of Pleasant Hill and they land on a landing page that says Pleasant Hill, they're like, I live in Berkeley. I really am not interested in Pleasant Hill home values. That's what makes these ads really weak on Facebook. So the purpose of this call is really to educate you to understand that the other tools that we supply, like this, are really way smarter ways of getting listing leads. If you want listing leads that turn into listing contracts, right? So somebody here had mentioned, and if you have questions about this page, definitely lay this on me. If you have questions about this particular page, put them in the chat panel. I want everybody to understand this. And I'm going to go over to the Mastermind group because there's a really useful post here. What the heck is going on here? Sorry, clicking on too many things here. Give me a second, guys. There's a magnifying glass in the Mastermind group over here. That means you can search this. And I would highly recommend that you search this name, Chris Winstead. Now, actually, you'll notice Chris has posted a lot of things here, right? Like he's got a picture of him dropping off envelopes. You might even see that there's a webinar because I recorded a call with Chris on it just a couple of weeks ago. Top tools with special guest Chris Winstead. You might want to listen to what Chris is talking about. But I want to point this out because somebody here on this call said, I'm using this letter and it's not working. This guy here is, I'm going to show you something I think is a really smart way to apply the letter. Now, Chris has this cool video, and that's cool. That's actually not what makes it, it's powerful because he's overlaying it with that print letter that I showed you. But this is really where the meat of the matter is. He says, I send out letters every other week to neighbors who own their homes for 5 years or more. So he built that list there are multiple ways of getting a list of homeowners, right? That have owned their homes for years, and you know they have equity. Once they opt in on the neighborhood landing page, the home value page, I consistently contact them every week with phone calls, bomb, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. Is this not clear to you guys? So let me just explain. He's taking these letters and he is mailing them to people. And I want to stress this, the whole reason he's pointing this out, he's farming his own neighborhood, right? He's a realtor and he wants to be the guy in his neighborhood, right? He lives there, he likes it, and he wants to be that person. So if you have a farm market that you're trying to take advantage of or build out, get a list, right? Get a list of homeowners. That's kind of obvious. And then mail that letter out every other week. It could be about any listing. It could be about a borrowed listing. I'm going to show you another tool that looks like this letter and acts like this letter, but it has nothing to do with any listing at all, right? So he's mailing messages out every 2 weeks. And then once they opt in, once they take the physical piece of paper to their computer to this page, he now has their address and their email address, right? And he starts dripping on them every week with phone calls, bomb messages, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. Is that clear for anybody, for everybody? Is there anything I can answer about that? Okay. Is there a company that will print and mail those for us? Liza, there are many. I don't know. I don't really know the names of the companies that do all that. So let's talk about the questions. So definitely throw your questions in here. What page was that previous one? What, Liza, what is that? Still no chat. Lisa Marie, I am going to send you a message. It says hi. Hopefully you'll see. Look for questions. Look for questions in there. Okay. That captures phone numbers too. Reginald has a question about phone numbers. I definitely want to talk about it. He's just getting listing because he's cute. Yeah, okay, Bettina. You see me only. Yeah, Lisa, you're not going to see everybody's questions. These are questions coming to me, and I answer the questions here live. Okay. The one you had previous, yeah, I think it said marketing at the top. Okay, got it. Okay, so I think it said marketing at the top. So just so you know, I think, Liza, this is the listings page. Okay, when you click on the listings page, you're going to see address, you can update the status, and you can click market listings. I'm going to click market listings. The URL is custom made. In other words, the URL in your flyer needs to go to my listings. James, the URLs that are on this page, on that are unique to your account. And so those listings, those leads captured there are going to go to you. Okay. So you don't really need to do anything to this. You could if you want to, but the way that this is designed, it's going to work automatically for you. Yeah. Okay. So you get to this page. Here are all the things you can do. We have talked about the nearby homeowner letter. We have talked about Facebook ads. If the home is sold, I would definitely recommend running a Facebook ad. And I would recommend that you put some notes in it, like I was saying earlier about, hey, you know, we got 5 contracts. I still have 4 people waiting to buy. You know, we went above asking. We went in, you know, all this and that. So James has a question. Jamie, can we send them to a custom domain name? You can. Yeah, you would have to edit. You'd have to go get that domain. You'd have to point it to the right website, and then you could put it in there. You can do all that fun stuff. Yeah. We try to do this, Jamie, so that it's easy, because just what I'm showing you here is, it's easy to us. It's easy to Scott and me because we live in it. But for agents, they're like, their head is spinning right now, right? So, but yeah, if you got all that domain name stuff, you want to do that, right? I'm printing my own letters with my Epson's Echo Tank. About 200 letters cost me 120 bucks. My wife helped. Very cost effective. Yeah, Javier, we've got a lot of clients that do this in home. I got it. You know, if you go to the Mastermind group, you're going to see. Let me show you here. Cheyenne. So Cheyenne, I can't remember think her name is Laura, but she has a handle here of Cheyenne Lakes, right? Which is like an area where she is. And let's see, it's Michelle. Michelle was her name. So I think Michelle came in here. It was a couple of years ago. Right here, she door knocked 200 homes in 7 hours and picked up 4 listings with that letter, right? So however, let me just show you, like, that's the, put on the sneakers and do the hard work method, which is nothing wrong with that. Chris, I showed you, Chris Winstead did a super cool way of like dovetailing that letter with a list of people with equity, home equity, right? Totally makes sense. Let me show you another way, this is typically the way that most of our clients try to approach this. But I want to say this because earlier in the call, somebody said, hey, I'm using this and it's not working. And frankly, I have had that discussion with other agents around the country. There's one woman I was talking to who's pretty seasoned, like she's been in the business. Now she's like west of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. And there's some nice properties out there, really nice areas. She goes, I've been doing this for like 6 months. I think she said she did multiple mailings and it didn't work for her. And that's kind of surprising. I've also had that discussion with somebody in Palm Springs. And what I want to point out, and what you do have to think of, is if you're in a super highly competitive market, this could be part of your quiver, part of your business, part of your strategy, but maybe not, the 100%. In some places, like for Chris, he can just do that and it works. This guy, Dustin, right, I'm showing you right here, when I set up their office, he was one of 300 agents. I think that office has like 800 agents now. And Dustin was a rookie. He was in the realtor for 2 years, doing 5 million in annual production. And very early after that second year, he came in the mastermind group and he told us this. And he says, I took your letter and I mailed it to 250 homes around a listing. I used tax records to get a list. And then I put in a little 1-page calendar of my, our team here, and I mailed it first class with a little 1 page of my Zillow reviews. And he pulls out 10 listings with an average commission of $17,000, right? So 170 in on a $625 spend on first class mail, right? And I've heard people saying, yeah, we get old FedEx envelopes and we put them out there so that people just open the dang thing. Right? Whatever it is, sorry, I'm trying to get Facebook to stop being a jerk right now, which it's not. But however you want to get it in there, that's how it is. And so, yeah, and Javier is saying he purchased Astro Bright yellow envelopes. So that's a good point, and let's go down there. So if this is getting confusing, everybody, so there is there's the science of this and there is the art of this. And Javier is talking a little bit about the art of it. And I'm glad he raised that. If you go here and you look on this magnifying glass in the mastermind group and you look for this name, Pless, P-L-E-S-S, you'll find that Alicia last year would come in here every month saying, every time I mail this out, I get another listing. And you'll notice that from Alicia, she uses these really brightly colored envelopes. And even the guy, Dustin Fox, who got 10 listings with a $250 spend, he came into the group a couple months later and said, hey, I am now paying somebody to handwrite the addresses. No more of these, kind of generic labels. We're handwriting it because as long as somebody opens it, it's good for his business. So it was worth him to pay somebody to handwrite a couple hundred, things there. Janice is using the line green with clear labels, right on. So that is a bit of the art of it, right? If it looks like generic junk mail, I can just tell you when I separate my mail before I even get in the house, because that's just the kind of person I am, right? There are people like me And there are people, well, that will open every little thing and read it. That is not me, and that is not a good percentage of people. So I do think that custom is good. Okay, so that's the letter. Let's go back to the marketing list, right? We talked about Facebook ads. We talked about seller social media. Let's go over real quickly to the listings page, and let's talk about not this home. That's an open house. Let's talk about another listing that is sold. Okay. I got a property here that's sold. So if I go to the marketing list, the seller social media is really the way to really take advantage of. We email this tool to you, and I'm going to hopefully in the fall, Scott and I are going to clean this thing up because it's messy. And what I mean by messy is we give you a bunch of instructions and expect you to read the instructions. And I know you're not all reading our instructions. So while we're looking at it, let me just show you what's meant to happen. You're meant to forward the email. Now you can do it right here. Copy this. You want to get this information to your homeowner, okay? And you want to email it to them and then call them and say, hey, homeowner. And you want to do this when it's just listed. You want to do this if you're holding open houses. You could do it when it's under contract too, but you definitely want to do it when it's sold. Now, I want to point this out. This is not on your business. This is not on your Facebook account. It's not on your personal stuff. It's not on your business. It's on your client's account. And notice it says, our home just sold, and we want to recommend you at your office for doing an excellent job. Here is your phone number and email for all my friends and family to see, right? To know that you're my realtor and that I'm recommending you. I think many of you have, really great reviews on all kinds of random websites, Zillow. There are a bunch of great places, but you'd have to have people go over there and find you. Here, we're saying give this to your homeowner, ask them to put it on with a 5-second phone call, and this stays on their page until the day they delete it, which most people never delete it. Alicia Pless, who I mentioned there with the yellow envelopes in the Mastermind group, came in last year kind of like scratching her head saying, I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting listing leads and I don't have anything out in the market. I don't have any ads running. I don't have any of those letters you're talking about running. How am I getting listing leads when I'm doing absolutely nothing? And I said, do you use these tools? And are you using this tool that I'm showing you right now? And she said, yeah. I said, well, that's it. Because when your client's friend or family or colleague or relatives, whatever, maybe they don't log in 5 times a day, right? Maybe they log in once a month, and they click on that thing to see that it's sold. They're going to get offered a call to action to get their free home value right here. And now this is a super select group because these people are already looking at a recommendation of you from their friend on Facebook. That's why you don't get a lot of leads here, but they are high quality leads. And that's really the point of this call, to understand that many of you still think to get listings, you got to run an ad on Facebook and drive people to this page. That's the last thing I'm going to suggest to you. Okay. Literally, it is the last thing. We still got other great things. So we've talked about running sold ads. We've talked about seller ads. We've talked about the nearby homeowner letter. There's also an e-flyer right here that you can email to your client. It's meant for your client. And notice it says, dear friends, Vincent sold our home. Here's his name and phone number. They can click on this. This has just sold. It's the home. All kinds of, these are all dynamic links that capture leads for you. That's all, to capture leads, right? So nearby homeowner letter, we covered right here. E-flyer for your database. If you got a CRM and you got hundreds or thousands of leads in there, you should be copying this. Click this button that says copy code and drop it on your CRM at least once or every other week, right? For any listing, because every time, like this home is sold, it says, hey, this home is sold. Go here, find out about it. Great. it's always going to say that's affected your home value. Go here and get your home value, right? That's what our marketing is about. That's why you need to market your listings with our tools at multiple statuses, because there are always hooks to get you home value leads. Okay, that's the point of all these things. So these tools that I just shown you are really great for that. Now, how do bots work, Bob? There is a support page for that. I'll go find out one day. The reason I'm not going to discuss bots, Bob, is that I really am focused on things that are making money for our clients. And the bots are a really fun thing, but nobody's cutting to me and saying, oh my God, I'm getting so many listings from my bots. All I'm hearing is I'm scratching my head with your bots. How do we use that with another agent's sold properties? So if you don't have your own listings, you can click this button that says add listing, and you can manually create a listing. We're not like the MLS. We've got like 10 fields here that are required, and then add a couple photos. If you're somebody helping a buyer, you're helping somebody buy a house, well, you know that that home is sold, right, when they buy it. So you should pull that listing in your account, and you can market it as sold. You're just not the listing agent. It's just not a big deal. You can use any sold listing as long as your MLS is not going to freak out on you, right? Yeah, you can totally use that. So guys, I went on deep about Facebook earlier, so please hang out because I got some great tools. We're still talking about getting listings here. This is going long, but I want to talk about something that's super, super new and valuable, really important for you. This is our ads page, right? This is our ads page, and Bob, hold on to that question. If I don't answer that, ask it in just a few minutes. Here you can run 3 kinds of ads, right? Now, I'm here, I'm already connected. If you come here for the first time, you're gonna have to connect Facebook, and then it will give you these 3 buttons. You can create a listing ad, you can create a landing page ad, and you can create a PDF report ad. So let's just create a listing ad, right? Let's do that sold property, okay? Lead ads, create an ad. I can create a listing ad, create form. This should be removed. We don't need this form. Our tech team is going to fix that. You'll need to type in the location, create the form right now. Tomorrow, hopefully you won't, and then publish. Okay. It says sold. Don't forget, I told you to go down here and tell people the extra special news about how this property is sold. Had a lot of offers. It went above asking. Blah blah blah. Right? You got to make that pop to get people to click it. So that's one thing you could do, sold advertising, right, to get more listings. You could go over here and create a landing page and say, hey, I want to do an ad for, wherever, Lafayette or San Luis, Plano, Texas, right? Whatever. But remember, I already told you that running ads for home values is a little bit wonky because you can't really target a particular city. So, that's but that's how you do it. But the real reason I want you to see this page here is to create a PDF report ad. Because we have written 50 reports, 25 for sellers and 25 for buyers. But the point of this call is to get sellers. So let's just look at this one, 12 mistakes to avoid. There's a little white button. You can download it and look at the report yourself. And you're going to notice that your contact information is at the bottom of every one of those pages. They're really like 4 to 6 pages. They're not huge. And then you click create an ad. Before I do that, before I create the ad, I'm going to show you something. And this is a little wonky. We're going to fix this too. The library. In the library, it says media from L to L. And it shows you the PDF reports. And if you click settings, you can change the color format to your company, right? And yeah, I'll just put Remax here for you, right? And save. And what that does is that swaps out all the colors. Now, we're going to make this even faster where it's going to look at your profile and choose the colors. We're not there yet, but like I said, we're making it easier. But let's go back to the ads, and let's go back to create a PDF report ad. And now you see my colors have changed, and I want to do a seller report. And I've already looked at this. I downloaded and looked at it. I'm just going to click create an ad. And I got to still create the form, type in the location like Berkeley. Remember we were talking about Berkeley? We were talking about Pleasant Hill earlier. And I said, if we do a home value, there's all these other people that are going to see it. Now it doesn't matter if it overshoots and it goes into Walnut Creek or it goes into Concord, because this is relevant for any homeowner, right? This is actually a better ad than the typical old-fashioned home value ads for Facebook. So if you're thinking about getting leads off Facebook, I definitely recommend that you are running ads with our PDF reports. Okay, so let's go see the questions here. Bob asked a question about investment properties. And let me talk about that because that's tricky. Investment properties, the thing with Facebook and the thing with targeting homeowners with mails and direct mails is that these are like residential property owners. Investment properties are not for everybody. So it's really, you know, in that way, if you want to use Facebook, let me just explain this. Let's see. I would go to landing pages and I would create a custom seller landing page. And then I'm going to just say Berkeley, right? Let's, because whatever town you're targeting, you know, you would want to kind of do that. It's not really required, but that's kind of what I would do. Custom seller landing page, it drops this on the editor, and you can then edit this whole thing, all this language here in this box, this picture, everything. There's custom content. You could embed a YouTube video. You could put a counter like I had earlier in my open house thing. You could put bullet points, right? And then once you created this, then you could go back to the ads page and create a landing page ad, and your custom landing pages are way at the bottom, right? I've got a custom free report. Here's a custom report for Berkeley, the one I just created. I'm going to create lead ads. And so you're assuming that you've made some really awesome messaging, and then you'll want to reflect that here. But what I want to say about that, Bob, is investment properties are good for some people. They're usually more for all people that are almost like in a commercial kind of space. And commercial advertising is not always, commercial residential is not always great for Facebook, right? So for the 12 mistakes to avoid bringing me the most leads, no, Reginald, they all bring in leads. You should be using any of those reports. You should be using all those reports consistently. So I just clicked on one, and you know, when it comes to Facebook, and I have a specific class on Facebook, you should be following that as well. You should be running ads on all of these, you know, consistently. Like every week, you should be running one listing ad and either one PDF report ad or one landing page ad. That's minimum for any agent, 2 ads a week. Okay, spend $200 to $300 a month, and that's, you know, you're going to have thousands of people every month see your sponsorship ads. You're going to collect hundreds of leads for that. Okay, so let's see, let's get back to this. So it's not, so Reginald, it's not that was the #1 PDF report. It's get consistent and use our tools, and that's going to work. Can I use home value report page along with the seller ad PDF? You can't do it at the same time, Gita, no. If you can please show how I can do that. You can't do that. Are the report data current? Yeah, these reports, Janice, we are just written them. They're actually not time specific. They're pretty high level, so that's it. Do you recommend running ads from Facebook business page rather than personal page? Kathy, you cannot run ads from your personal page. Facebook won't allow you to do that. It's always going to be from your business page. And I will just say this. This is about Facebook. This is my personal page, right? And you'll notice that I put business stuff on it, right? I need to go. Well, sorry. Let me go back to my Facebook page. I got distracted because Facebook was giving me a message. You'll notice that, sorry, I gotta wrap my brain back here, that I'm putting my business stuff on it. I'm pretty sure, just like with your iPhone, you don't read the terms of service on Facebook, right? And say, hey, you gotta accept all this stuff. You're like, okay, whatever. This is actually against the terms of service for you to put your business on your personal page. This is my personal page. So for me talking about my business, this is actually against the terms of service. And why I'm going to point that out is every once in a while, I get these sad phone calls of people whose accounts are shut off. And they're like, oh my God, it's not working, right? Like, what can I do? I can't actually help you. I got all my personal stuff. There's my dog there and my garden and music, right? It's against the term of service to have stuff there. Now, let me just tell you, agents do this for years. They've got thousands of people that they've chatted with, they're friends with on Facebook, and they say, oh yeah, I'm selling homes, this and that. People do it, and you can still do it, but there might be one day when your account is shut down. That will probably be the reason why, okay? So that's a long answer to Kathy's question of should I run ads on my business page or my personal page. You actually can't run ads through a personal page. You can post stuff there. It's against terms of service, but you can't actually physically run an ad there. So, okay, let's go back to, we've talked about PDF report ads. We've talked about landing pages. We've talked about the listing tools. There's one more thing I didn't mention on the landing page, and then we'll wrap it up. So if you've got questions, please put them in the chat panel, put them in the questions panel. So these are all my landing pages, and you'll notice I have a lot of Property Valuation Plus. Property Valuation Plus right now are the home value pages, okay? And you could say Property Valuation Plus Cincinnati, Property Valuation Plus Miami, whatever. You create whatever landing page. You want to have multiple pages if you're creating business in multiple cities, right? And now I have one for me in Release Valley, right? Now Release Valley is actually a small section of Lafayette. Lafayette's a super nice town. Release Valley is like super, super nice. So you would love to build your business in Release Valley. It's like one long street and some little side streets. Everything is gorgeous, like just awesome. I have a picture of the swimming club. If you know Release Valley, you know that swimming club, that's really the point of this landing page, to tell people who land on it, like, I know the area, right? So that's what you want to do with your landing page. But even more important is if you click the edit button over here, the pencil, we have hidden way back in the back this super great tool in advanced options that says print marketing. And it is that letter, just kind of like that nearby homeowner letter. So as Chris was saying, every other week he mails something to his target audience who owned a home for 5 years or more. This is one of those tools that you can create, right? And all you need to do is edit a few lines here. It says, hey, hope you're great. July home sales are in. Just tell them, like, hey, 50 homes sold in Release Valley last month. The high was here. 200 homes is sold for the year. These are just high level stats, because the point of it is this has affected your home value. Take this physical piece of paper here and let me give you a free home value, right? You kind of recognize what that's about. So that's kind of the message. That's a really great tool to use. These, you want to use them all. You don't want to focus on one tool. You want to try to use, a handful of tools. that getting listings in this market is not easy. I wish I could tell you, hey, here is one magic bullet to just change your life. Unfortunately, we have not been able to design that. But we do have a whole stack of tools that are all going to help you get visibility, reach out into the market, and get more listings. I recommend that you look at the tools that we talked about today and you figure out how to use them consistently. You got great Facebook ads, you got great print ads. There are even things that you can do for Craigslist and stuff like that. But if you just focus on the things that I showed you here today, it will work out well for you. Are there any more questions? We've run a little bit late here today, so I appreciate hanging out with me. But this is important stuff. Getting listings is important. I want to remind you that there's a support tab down here on the left. And if you have a question, put it right in this box because our whole support team watches this, okay? And they answer questions very quickly. This call is being recorded and it's going to be in the mastermind group later today. So I highly recommend, that you look at it again. I'm going to send this page one more time in case you got in late. This has 6 videos that are always, they are really, well, what's the problem here? Sorry, give me a second. I'm going to send this to you one more time. Control C. There we go. So this should pop up or be blinking in orange. If you look at these videos, you're going to really understand what to do here. Peter walked away. I just said that this call is recorded and will be in the mastermind group. So use the support page, which I also mentioned just a moment ago, to tell them, hey, I want to get in the mastermind group. You can hit support by getting right here. How do we get in the listings leads mastermind group, Lisa? I just said that. Go to support and tell them your name and give them get you in there. Well, guys, that's my story for the day. Thanks for all the questions. I hope this is helping you. Don't forget, look at what Chris Winstead said about how they're using the letter. Look at what Dustin Fox is saying and Alicia Pless. They give a lot of really valuable information. There's a lot of feedback from the other agents about how they're applying it too. So listings are important in your business. You want to spend a little bit of time to understand how we can, how you can leverage these tools to get there. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Sally. Thanks, Lisa. Take care. Keep safe. And we'll talk to you soon. I think we got a call on Thursday, which is about Facebook advertising, which we've kind of went deep today, but we'll talk more about Facebook later on.